Hey, it's Rick. 28 millimeter RPG here. I am watching some videos. I remember this coming up, GNS theory. Yeah, it was at Table Breakers, correct. Let's get this back to normal here. It was at Table Breakers. This is Max. Uh, Max is talking about the GNS theory. So, if nobody's heard of this, let's go. Let's listen.
Hello guys, today I want to talk about the GNS theory. And a couple of weeks ago, the guy of Table Breaker talked about the GNS theory. And I wanted to add my viewpoint to the conversation, put in my 2 cents, if you will. I put a link to their talk in the description below, so you can watch for yourself if you want to know what they had to say about it. GNS theory was developed by Ron Edwards back in the time of the Forge forum quite a while ago. GNS stands for Gamest, Narrativist, and Simulationist. It has been developed to describe the motivation of players interested in role-playing game. Gamist players are interested in overcoming challenges and winning. Narrativists are for the story and the drama surrounding the character. And it doesn't matter so much for a narrativist player if his character dies, if it was an interesting story, in theory. And the simulationists want to explore a believable world that makes sense and is internally consistent. The idea of a GNS theory is that if you, as a GM, understand into what type of your players fall, you'll be better equipped to provide them with good experiences. And of course, there are flaws about this theory. Firstly, very few players fit neatly into one category. We might all have a dominant type. We might lean more toward gamist or narrativist or simulationist, but very few people interested in RPG are strictly into one camp. If you were strictly gamist, you'd probably be more interested in board game like Zombicide and Descent, which can be good fun and there's nothing wrong with playing those kind of game, but they're not RPG. If you were purely into the narrativist side, you would be more into collaborative storytelling or improv theater maybe. Maybe people doing like diceless game or more do fall more into that category. But at some point, like, do they even qualify as game anymore? And the simulationist side is probably the one that is the most misunderstood. People often think that it's how worried you are about the exactitude of a system and how it details every minutia of life, but it's not quite that. The simulationist player, according to GNS theory, is concerned with exploring a believable world that is self-consistent, and is the player that is the most concerned about metagaming, and that is always try to act as this character would logically do, regardless if as a player he knows that it might not be the best way of action for winning, or if he doesn't feel that it would lead to the most interesting story.
Okay. Um, as a player, yeah. As a player, I guess I'm more. I don't know. I'm a cross between simulationist and narrative, and that is because I like things to be consistent in the world. As far as I see it. Um, and yeah, I will play my character being cursed with drunkenness or whatever it is that he's afflicted with, and I will play him that way. If there's an issue, something like a curse or something befallen him somehow, some sort of psychological trauma, whatever it is, I will play it that way. Um, but I'm more, I'm kind of, I'm almost like 50-50 with a narrative because, uh, because I like the story that comes out of the whole thing. And I guess, however, as a game master, GameMaster, I'm more simulationist. But it's kind of weird because you got to have a narrative with the simulation in order for it to work. Um, because you really can't have one without the other. Because you need a way to um, get the idea out that you have of the simulation. You have to narrate it properly. Um, so if you're lacking in your narration skills, you're not going to be able to get that simulation happening very well. As a game master, once again, I fall more into simulationist because when I prepare a game, I don't prepare I don't prepare a lot of things that most game masters would prepare, or in that kind of same way, because I look at the possibilities of a situation coming up on hand, and I kind of write down rough notes. But where most of my game mastery comes from is the way that I set up the non-player character, the NPCs, the characters that aren't being played by the players. And I have an outline of goals and things that they want to achieve, you know, their their viewpoints in the world or whatever it is, in the universe or world. And I want them to be as believable as possible. So I kind of stick to certain rules with my NPCs, and like I say, that's where I concentrate most of my prep is NPCs, because no matter what, as a player, you're going to be encountering characters that you're going to interact with. So as a game master, you should be concentrating on that, because NPCs have to perform a function in your game to elaborate on certain things that characters haven't encountered yet. So they will be the instruments of the game master's um, ideas, I guess. They know that there is an abandoned ship on the other side of the moon, and they heard this from secondhand, news from some guy that he's under. He's like some dude who's been in NASA and he's been hiding away, right? And and NASA's got the CIA hunting him down, and there's some sort of alien starship on the other side of the moon. And how do you get that out to your players? You got to have NPCs. Maybe you want to play the NPC, like the guy that has the actual information, the firsthand information. Maybe he's kind of crazy and twitchy and stuff. So you want to have that kind of, is he the unreliable, witness to what he's seen? So the players would have to, with will have like a little bit of a debate amongst themselves whether or not this guy is for real or not, right? You want to have those cool kind of interactions where the players don't really think the story is true, or maybe he is true, maybe he is, but he's crazy, right? The guy that they first get the information from, maybe it's some friend of this crazy person, and he's like, well, maybe these players can help him out, since they are friends with Bob the Rocketeer, and Bob the Rocketeer has a rocket, but and Bob the Rocketeer, which is a player, has assembled his crew of friends, and they're going to go ahead and do a launch. Maybe it's time to beef things up with this rocket and give it another stage, and they're going to go ahead and make a run for the moon to see whether or not they can uncover this alien ship. So maybe that could be a cool story. So then I'll go ahead and start running from there. Like the players will have to discuss how they're going to go ahead and build the rest of this rocket. Go ahead and make the vacuum suits and stuff like that. They could come up with all kinds of ideas. So when when I start off with an idea like that, that's basically what I crunch it down to. And then I try to make it believable. How plausible would it be for them to make a vacuum suit? How plausible would it be for them to anything's possible, you know, if given the right circumstance. So the players have to go about making that circumstance happen. So maybe I'll drop a hint that hey, there's a booster rocket. It's being moved from site A to site 4L, and perhaps it could go missing or something. I don't know. Um, I'll drop little ideas. That, yeah, they got booster rockets over in the old skunk works there. They've got a few of them like just lying around. They kind of got waste. They're kind of wasting away from the abandoned Apollo missions and stuff like that. Maybe it could be something like that. Now now this is where the players are playing it. So you don't want to go ahead and come up with all these crazy ideas. You want the players to come up with crazy ideas and let them amaze you, the game master, and and then you come up with you got to be on spot. Game master. It's a thing where you got to think up these ideas and drop them in there. So you might see me as I'm playing with the players. I'm like writing down notes and stuff like that. But as far as GNS theory, yeah, it's hard to really put anybody into just one of those categories. Gamer, I think I value the game part um, is the dice. So you do notice that I do kind of pull back on the dice, but I only pull back on the dice because um, players don't want to be rolling for the mundane. So I don't use the dice for mundane. I might bring it up for something interesting to happen, of course. Or if they don't have the skill for it, well, roll. You never know what happens. It could make the whole thing interesting. It could be a total fail. Maybe they're trying to drive some sort of big truck that with a hoist and stuff, and they're big trailer, and they're trying to go ahead and load up this abandoned Apollo rocket booster, and it's already starting to become a crazy story here that might actually work. As an episode for one of my traveler games. You have to start thinking up things. Learn how to think up things like this, and in order to become a simulation, make it believable, but yet narrative because you want to get your ideas across, your hints across, your nods, but you also want the players to, be free to decide on what they're going to do. Now, they could just decide that they're, not going to build a rocket. They're going to think that this guy is crazy and in the game there. But really, um, there could be hints of a second person that came up with, these shots from the other side of the moon that they're showing photographs. Maybe one of the NPCs digs deeper because the players won't. That could be it as well. But the if the players aren't going to go on this thing, then it's just not going to happen. But if you have good players and they know that this is kind of a thing, they're gonna want to be curious enough to uh, find out what's going on here. What does Game Master Rick have going on? Is this going to be a gotcha when they get up there? Is there are they gonna are they gonna find out that it's a hoax or not? You know, or is it a is it maybe it's there but it's a twist? Because Rick always goes ahead and pulls out these crazy twists. So a lot of times I don't think of that twist at the moment because I know it's going to take them a couple of sessions to actually get to the the heart of the mystery. And the and that's where um I kind of let my brain, stew out what's happened in the first session depending on what the players do. Like they could totally go off on a totally different tangent or something in that game, but it's what it would be then. But if they follow through on this idea, hey, there's a spaceship on the other side of the moon, wouldn't be interesting if we go there and check it out and bring back evidence or something. Maybe we'll become ultra rich. We'll discover some form of forever energy coming from it or something like that. They'll crack the mystery of free energy stuff or whatever. Who knows? I have no idea what the prize is going to be at times. So that's the thing. It's a weird thing being a game master on something that kind of is spurious and open to any possible ending or outcome. You know, well, like I say, I try to keep it consistent, and I write down notes and I write down what I think possibly could end up happening. Uh, you know, Maybe it's a man-made object. Maybe it's the Russians or something like that. Who knows? Whatever it's going to be, it's going to be. Maybe the players come up with a super cool idea, some sort of theory about the whole thing. I'm like, oh, I kind of like that. I might take a piece of that. Give the players the satisfaction of knowing that part of their theory was right, or the satisfaction of knowing that they influenced Rick on creating an adventure off the top of his head. And like I say, I wasn't even thinking about that. I was just watching this video here, and I thought, yeah, I remember this GNS theory and somebody talking about it. And I remember when Max reacted about it, and I was watching the same stream as well. I was thinking, yeah, there's not really anybody that fits into that one category. So I don't see it as I see it as being kind of like, shades. Like you could put Gamest, narrative, and then Simulationist over here, and then you can maybe be the dot that's kind of in between. Is he Simulationist? Is he Gamest? If is he is he narrative? And you can maybe put yourself in the dot. That's between the triangle of points there. Um, Kind of like a weird kind of alignment chart. But yeah, it's hard to think of them as just individual things and anybody sitting at the absolute. Everybody's going to be kind of floating in the middle, but veering from one side to the other on that triad of points. So the gaming part, um like I still like the gaming part of it, but the gaming part is more chance. It's that chance thing. The chance to hit, the chance that it's going to miss, all that. It influences what happens in the game at times for the individual who's doing the action to maybe think of a different way at that moment. This is going to fail. I got to do something different. Um, that's it's just some interesting things to think about. If you haven't if you haven't seen Max's videos, I'm going through them now. I just joined him not too long ago, like a couple days ago or something, and I subbed to him. I didn't realize he had quite an extensive channel, but yeah, I'm checking it out, and he could certainly use some more subscribers as well. The link is in the description. But as it goes, if you like what you see, like what you hear, think you're learning something, I'm learning stuff too. I learn stuff every day. So let's learn together. Hit that subscribe button. Join me. You'll see more glorious scroll work like you're seeing up around here. I'm just totally ad-libbing this. Talk to you guys later.